You just started Gods Unchained and you have a problem building a deck with the cards at your disposal, then this video is for you.
Faro_TV.
Faro TV.
Faro FM Radio.
Oh no, not Faro.
Welcome back, guys. Yesterday's video was about how much money you can actually make, and today's video is going to be about how to actually progress efficiently through the game. Now, this guide will completely focus on you not spending a dime first, and at the end I will give some recommendations if you want to spend a few cents, a few bucks for a few additional cards for your deck. For that you would have to fund your Immutable X account to trade over there. However, also last video I told you there's currently a game making a huge promo. Just use the link where I have, like, in the description, free NFT on Immutable X. If you're lucky, you get one of these, which are selling. Actually, they've risen since yesterday. Yesterday it was 0.33 Ethereum on a legendary one. Now it's 0.4. But obviously not everyone will get that. There's epics, there's rares. But yeah, you could sell this on the market and then buy some cards with that. Just use the link in the description. You help me out progressing through this referral program. Starting off with the experience of starting out in the game, I actually sat down and looked at the cards that you have when you start out. And yeah, it's going to be an awkward phase for a while. So you can see the decks I built, and I here named it the War Starter deck. Let me actually adjust this a little bit here. It's going to be awkward for a bit. If I was able to like group it by sand and have like the filter by welcome, which is like the cards you have at your disposal when you start out the game. And most of the starter decks are like way worse than this is, because it has 7 drops, 8 drops, so many of them, that this is not how a War Starter works. As you can see, I have been using the War Starter deck, which has the simple reason the games are the fastest, and also they are the most free-to-play friendly deck together with Nature. However, I have chosen for you War over Nature for the simple reason that the games are way faster, and you can get your 60 weekly wins faster by playing this deck. Looking over those cards here, Vicious Rent and Boilblood Outlaw, and also the Vanguard X-Woman and the Wildhawk are actually cards that are absolutely playable in Mythic. So your 1-drops are absolutely fine. I included the Dockside Prowler here. Not the biggest cards, but yeah, you only have 32 different cards at your disposal, so obviously some of them won't be the absolute best, but this is still a solid card. Moving on, in the 2-drop we have a huge problem here at the start, because you might see there is like not much here, but those are okay cards. You obviously want to heal another friendly creature when it's damaged to outtrade a little bit more, maybe stop the enemy from just using a ping to kill the last health. So yeah, it's still alright if you're able, like, it can make for great controlling of the board. And the Ramshackle Hatchet is actually pretty solid. Not only can you do direct damage to your enemy because it's God Blitz, no, it allows you to attack the opposing character, Jesus, when you play it directly, but it's also 3 damage. You can basically almost clear anything that the 2-drop is, except for a few exceptions. The 3-drops, Raid Reveler and the Hunt Warden, are again very good cards, even in Mythic. People are playing those. This has protection, this has just solid stats. The Jail Beast is something I have chosen at the lack of other cards. But yeah, I'm just pointing those out for you to be able to rebuild the deck once you get a few more core cards. And now it's getting more awkward, because there's just not enough low drops that are usable. So I included this one here for a little bit of a punch. Then the Overproof Brew can actually like help you to finish off the opponent, because you will have a very strong early game. You will probably have somewhat of a board dominance, and yeah, you could use that as a finisher. The others are just also placeholders to maybe do some extra damage, or just this one has just a solid distribution of stats, so it can be a threat on the board. And this one is just to get another spell again, 1-cost spell. Get another Vicious Rent in there, you know. But yeah, this is the awkward phase of the game. You don't have much cards, but this is still a very much playable deck. You will be coming out on top at the beginning of the game because most people will not follow a guide. They will just play and they will start with those garbage decks that have 8 cost and 7 cost cards that you need 10 turns to arrive at 7 and I don't know, 13 or something at 8 cost cards. It's ridiculous. So yeah, you can ignore those starter decks and just build this instead. I'll leave the deck code in the description. So while you play the game, I already explained, you will be getting some cards from those level ups. You can see I've already gotten 75 packs, and those will be core cards. This is another set called core cards. And I prepared a deck that includes only core cards that are common except for Deadly Arsenal. Because I had to put something in, but we will discuss other cards that are rare, that are better than some of those in the deck. And well, you can build from what you get together with the information that you get in this video. You can see I removed what I previously pointed out being not a good card and put in Deadly Arsenal in here. However, Deadly Arsenal is alright, but not the craziest. But here we have some of the top cards. Definitely are Enduring Shield, really good card, and Skeleton Heavy, just solid core card. You can drop this whenever, and it's a common, you should get it at some point. The other one here, the Platecaster, pretty solid card. It gets more health whenever it survives an attack, so it might stick on the board a little bit more persistent. And the Tavern Brawler has Blitz meaning like the X-Woman. You can attack enemy creatures the moment it hits the board. The 3 drops, the Hunter Warden State, the Raid Reveler State, and here we have the Plate of Sticks. This also has, like the 2-drop God Blitz, it's the exact same card with the exception you can attack twice. Not in the same turn, but you can attack twice in the turn you play it and in the next turn, or you can keep it for a while. Though I wouldn't keep it for too long because the enemy can also destroy weapons, so just use it. All of those decks use the Slayer ability, meaning you can do direct damage with your god to the enemy god of 2. So the Plate of Sticks often is also used to attack the enemy face directly, makes the game faster, and also makes you win the game. The Trojan Battle Mage is a pretty solid card. I included it. It is also played frequently. I meet it in Mythic. I'm promising you this deck is actually possible. You could reach Mythic with this deck. I'm not kidding. You can go to the highest rank or at least Diamond to get the most weekly points that you can get. Oh, damn it. This was a little bit of a tech card. It is able to destroy the enemy weapon. You will be facing lots of war decks that will be using weapons, and it's a decent 4-drop. It's a common card, so I included it for here. It removes sleep from a target friendly creature, which is not the greatest thing to be on a war deck. Like, it doesn't really have an effect, but it removes 2 durability from your opponent's relic, and that could come in handy. The Ogre Archer is just a little bit of a late game tech card to deal 3 damage to an enemy creature. Maybe you can hit something in the back line. Maybe you can just get rid of that pesky taunt unit that is in your way to finishing the game. Solid common card. But with that being said, let's now talk about some rare cards that you should include that are from the core deck or core set. Rare and epic cards. Obviously, Deuteria can be played in every deck. That's a legendary card, though. This one, Cartesian Improviser, solid card. You can include that in your deck, especially if you still have crappy cards from the first deck that I sorted out as quickly as possible with common cards already. Shield Bearer is a playable card. However, they nerfed it. It now has no attack. It's kind of awkward. I don't like that card so much anymore, but you can still play it. Here, this one is an epic card, but it's obviously just a better version of the skeleton. It has the same stats as the skeleton, but it has a pretty awesome roar for this deck. All the enduring shields can be getting buffed, you know. It's pretty great card. Definitely include if you get, but it's epic, so it took me a long time to get even one of that. Actually, I think I bought it the moment the forge opened or something. Great card. The next really great rare card is the Viking Longship. This actually enables you to, well, attack past taunt, which is can be a big deal. There is quite a few dangerous taunt cards being played by other players where you can only, well, you can't really ignore them. Your minions are not strong enough to really kill it, but the Viking Longship would be one that you can use to give each other friendly creature flank, and flank means you can attack past taunt creatures. Also, it has blitz, so it can attack directly, which is something you want in a tempo deck like this. So, or in a face deck. Viking Longship, great card. And that already sums up the core cards that you can include in the deck. Now, if you used the little link in the description to get that free NFT and maybe flipped it on Immutable to buy some cards, let me talk about which cards to buy. Now, to be honest, there is only two sets that come in question, and that's the core set. You can look like the cards I just mentioned, or it is the order set, Divine Order. Why Divine Order? Simple reason. There is the booster packs are still viable, and it is a way bigger amount than, yeah, those other sets here. Genesis or Trial, some of them are so overpriced. You guys won't even believe how much some of those cards cost, which is why we're going to talk about the Divine Order cards, which are absolutely, like, some of them just cost cents and are great cards. Starting with Spoils of War, you can see I got a bunch of those. I have it in my deck. It's just great for some extra buffs on and drawing great units that you want. I have two of them in my deck. Always playing it. Then Valkar's Captain is a great card. It equips you with a barbed hook. Goes really well together with the Smith, buffing it. Can recommend. It's an epic though, so it will cost a little bit more. This one is also really great. Thundercaller. At the end of your turn, if you are frenzied, give +1/+1 to your strongest Viking. It will most of the time buff itself, but you're playing the Slayer, you know. Since you're playing Slayer, you will have the ability to attack the opponent god directly, and the tempo almost guaranteed, and the weapons, you know, like you're almost guaranteed to get frenzied by attacking the enemy god once, and then afterwards it buffs itself unless there's always already a stronger Viking. Then another round is a great buff card. Since you most likely have something on the board, you buff it by +3. That is extra tempo, extra damage, affecting you right away on the board. And you even, on top of that, if you actually attack the enemy god in that turn, you will buff a random creature in your hand +1/+1. And now we're coming to what is, in my opinion, probably the best card for you to buy. It's a common card. It's the Archangel Cruiser. It's a blitz card with 5 attack. On top of that, if the enemy god has already been attacked, it has like the ability that you will get overkill. Overkill means even if the Archangel Cruiser is attacking something with, for example, 2 health, it kills it, but then there's 3 attack left, and those 3 attack will be distributed to either other creatures or even the enemy god. So if there was only this one card with 2 health on the board, now you will kill the card with 2 health and do 3 damage to the enemy god. And the last card to mention is the Guild Enforcer. It is just a pretty solid card for defending a little bit in the late game, but I think it's more about face, so much more important to get the Archangel Cruiser. I hope this video helped you guys. I didn't really see a video that really actually discusses true free-to-player experience. Most just say, oh, the starter decks suck, just get those cards, and they always like come under the assumption that you have played for weeks and weeks. But what you're doing right now, you're playing this great event where you can make a bunch of gods currency, and with that a bunch of money, and you are left with next to nothing to invest, because I know how it is. It is crazy gas fees to even get money on that, which is why I told you about the free NFT, which could get you a few, you know, a few little bit things immediately that you can buy maybe like some spoils of war or maybe an Archangel Cruiser with, which is a great thing to get for free. And from there you just keep accumulating and collecting. Of course, when you get gods the first time after 1 week of playing, you can maybe use those to buy some cards on the market and have a better experience from there on. But this should help you, I think, starting out rather smoothly, because you will be meeting obviously people with the same experience as you, and then you keep on building, and starting with some core cards you will be having a chance of beating, or like at least getting to the 1.5 points per week, event points per week, or maybe even with enough core cards you will be able to reach Mythic or at least Diamond to get the full points. That's going to be it. Make sure to use the link with the NFT, it also helps me a little bit. I don't even know if it will help me greatly in the future, but hey, every little thing counts. Also the link in the description to sign up to Gods Unchained if you're not playing yet, that will help me as well. Should you ever buy booster packs, then I will get, I think, 10% on of the Ethereum you're using in Immutable X, which is also awesome, so I can buy some more cards. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.